Hello, hello. This is probably going to be my last video in a good while until I can get situated in the new place. I don't think I'll be able to finish and try out and review a palette in the next 4 days. So we'll be out by this Saturday. It is a Tuesday today. So this is gonna be the last video in a while, and the last one that we are trying out is called Midwinter's Night. Yes, Midwinter's Night by CXC Beauty. I think this might be the last CXC Beauty palette I have to try. I'd have to go check my stash, but I believe this is the last one. I don't think I have any more CXC Beauty palettes. As much as I would, there are some that I've been keeping an eye on, but I mean, CXC Beauty palettes are like $62 a palette, and I haven't really seen a good sale in a while, so I haven't been able to buy any more CXC Beauty. But I am super late in reviewing this palette. Believe it or not, y'all, I think I bought this palette almost 3 years ago, and I'm saying that because we've been back in California for almost 2 years now, and I bought this palette back when I was in Oregon. When I received this palette originally, it was broken from what I recall. It was shattered, and this palette specifically, which is discontinued, they don't sell this palette anymore. That's how late I am in reviewing this. But I'm going to review it anyway for my hobby channel in case you ever happen to come across it in, I don't know, maybe like a Mercari or a Poshmark or something. But they had brought this back, I think, for a limited time, and I thought it was so freaking beautiful. And this is one of the palettes that doesn't have magnetic shades in it. So when I got my shattered palette, they were incredibly kind enough to send me another palette, which would be this one, that was just completely new, at no cost to me. I did not get charged again. CXC Beauty is still very much like, there's a lot of brands that say that they're indie, right? Or like small business. CXC Beauty really, truly feels to me like a small business indie brand. They will reply to your emails, they will reply to your tweets, and when I received my original broken palette, they're small enough and they're kind enough to have sent me a completely new palette. So I'm gonna throw that out there because I'm very grateful that I did not have to deal with a broken palette. What I did with the broken palette, because I think like half of the shades in there were like, was it half? I feel like it was almost all of them. I'm trying to remember the picture I had sent. I have pictures. A lot of them were broken. They have a very, very gentle, like soft formula, and I think that at this point, I think they've learned how to package their palettes a little bit better. But the way that they used to package their products, because they came from all the way from Florida to Oregon, they weren't packed as like heavily, knowing that they have a very soft formula that's kind of easy to break. So you always want to be gentle with your formula. There is ingredients there at the bottom. I really love this artwork. I think it's so freaking beautiful. Midwinter's Night. This palette absolutely screams Midwinter's Night. This is the outside, and just touching it, it is that good paper. It's not like that usual flimsy stuff. It is a really, really nice, like thick, fancy paper. I don't know if you can even see it. It's almost like this was painted on. There's a little bit of, the letters are a little bit like risen, like rised. And it feels like, I don't know if you can see, it's almost like if it was like painted on. It's not, but it's almost like it is. It's a really, really nice kind of texture I like on this palette. I think it's so pretty. And this palette absolutely does scream Midwinter's Night. There is a mirror in here. There's a mirror in there. We're gonna cover that up. But this is like totally. I think at any other point I probably might have reviewed this probably in January. But I decided to pull this out for this April into May transition because I feel like there's a good amount of pastel shades in here, but there's also a bit of brightness. And having just also used the Venom palette by NBA Cosmetics, this kind of reminded me of it because there's purples and there's greens in here. It's obviously not as bright. It's a lot more pastel-y, but since we are technically still in April, I thought this would be a good chance to try that out. So I pulled this out. And like I said, unfortunately, I don't think they sell this palette anymore. I'm pretty sure it's discontinued. I think it was being discontinued even when I bought it 3 years ago. So at this point, it's a little bit more of a show and tell. And I'm gonna keep it. I like this one. They have this palette, which is called Midwinter's Night, and there's a similar style palette called, I think it's called Summer's End, which I unboxed it and I reviewed it on my channel already. And if I were to put both of those up against each other, I think I like the Midwinter's Night more. My goal is, once I'm able to use all my new palettes, I want to go through my collection again and start pulling out older palettes that I'm like, I remember this was a maybe, I remember this was a meh, I want to try it again. If I'm not in love with it a second go around, maybe it's time to let it go, because I have so many palettes. Sometimes you gotta give up the ghosts and you gotta give away some palettes. But I liked this. I like the setup. I like how today I did a look with these 6. The day before I did a look with these 6. There's these blues in the middle. I feel like, I don't know if y'all agree, I feel like blue's a little I don't want to say overrated, but it's overhyped, it's overused. Whenever they say they want to use a pop of color, they always do blue, and I'm so freaking over it. So I'm really happy that the majority of this palette is not blue, and really, all you really have is this blue. So I'm happy with that. I love purples, I love greens, and I like this setup. It makes sense to me. I feel like the shades are a little powdery, but even with that being said, I still really liked the way that they worked. I think there was a lot of fallout in the pan, but overall I think they worked quite well. I feel like these shades are really pretty. These are the shades I have on today. I really love that purple shade, this second one. I think it is so pretty. And overall I thought they were all pretty decent. I feel like they were all very powdery in the pan, but overall quite easy to use and blend out. And because of that, I was like, you know what, it's fine, I don't care about the fallout in the pan. The other thing, which, ooh, I'm sorry, we gotta talk about it because we're gonna pull these out, and I completely forgot until I'm looking at the palette right now that this even happened. Let's swatch some shades first. Let's swatch some of these very, very, very soft metallic shades. Okay, I'm trying to do this one. I don't think I really had particularly a favorite. They're very crumbly. They're not super intense. They're more of a, I guess almost like toppers, because they're not like super opaque. I think the shimmers are just okay. I think where this palette really shines is with the mattes. But especially when, I don't want to say this is necessarily a big issue. I've never seen this before. It kind of reminds me of the Jaclyn Hill glove situation, but I'm keeping this palette. I'm still going to be using this palette. I don't think this necessarily like changes anything with the shades for me. Like, I know that they're made by these 2 creators. I know that they used to hand press them. I don't know if that's still the case, but in this purpley shade right here, and I'm gonna try and bring it up as close as I can. Do you see that there is something in my shade? You see me moving it with my breath? There is something sticking out. There's like hair, brush, like bristle, sticking out of my shade. And it's embedded. It is in there. This is not from my brush. This was coming out when I was using this shade, okay? So I'm gonna pull this out now. So I lifted, oh. Do you see how it's, do you see that? Do you see that? Okay, I don't know if this is gonna destroy my shade or not. I don't think it's dog hair. I can only assume it's from their brushes. I have to assume this is from their brushes. Like, I don't know what else it could be. Like, I don't know how many hairs that is. And there's still more. There's another hair. There's another hair. Here's another hair. Here's another hair. Oh my gosh, this just, the bottom of this completely just full of hair. Like, I don't know. Oh, that's stupid. Put hair on my hair. Yeah, okay. Is that all of it? I don't know. And you can see there's like an indentation of like the way it had curled in there. So I'm going to try and flatten it out. And those hairs came out just by me using this shade. So it's possible there are more hairs in there. Here's the shade that it was. this purple, and it's one of the better ones too. So obviously this was a quality control issue. I don't know why there was, I want to say hair, but I know it's like bristles. I don't know why there was bristles in my shade. I didn't put them there. I'm not trying to like dupe anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, truly, like, I've had this palette for the past 3 years. I used it this week for the first time ever, and there are bristles inside. Oh, here's another one. Do you see it? It's coming out. Can you see that? Here is another hair. Another hair. And that one just started floating up. Okay? Like, no hate. Honestly, like, no hate. I'm not trying to, like, get CXC Beauty canceled or anything, but, like, that's clearly a quality control issue. I still like this palette. I still think that this palette is, I feel like, my preference over the Summer Ends palette. I'd have to try the Summer Ends palette again, but y'all, come on now. Come on now, CXC. This has got to be a little bit of a warning. I'm sure they're doing a lot better now, but this, I mean, this brand at this point, I think, has almost been around for maybe a decade now, maybe 8 years. Still kind of new-ish, still small, still indie, but we gotta do a little bit better, I think, obviously. But I still really prefer this palette over the other one. It's weird, never had hairs come out of my shade before, but the color still worked. I still have it on my eye. I don't think it's necessarily any real contamination, but obviously there was bristles in my shade. But I kind of like this. I like this color story. It's murky. I don't think I really love to see this up against similar color stories and palettes, but I mean, other than what you just saw, have you guys ever experienced an issue like this before? Like I said, I'm not gonna reach out to CXC Beauty. It is what it is. This palette is discontinued. I'm keeping it. I still like it. I haven't had a problem with it. So we are moving on. I will see y'all on the next one, on the next video I make. I assume I'll probably be making a video with a bunch of palettes, reviewing a bunch of palettes that I hadn't been able to review for the month. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck, y'all. Y'all have a great day.